think so. We are live. Let's see. Just give me a second. I'm just trying to verify that if my audio is good. I think so. We are live. Let's see. Let me just double check. Give me a second. I'm just trying to verify that if my audio is good. I think so. We are live. Let's see. Let me just double check. Give me a second. I'm just trying to verify that if my audio is good. Okay. So thanks, Prashant, for confirming. And thank you for joining as well. Like whoever is here, like thank you so much for joining. I think this was a very short notice that I just put the post like 1 hour back. I will be coming live and my audio and because I just wanted to use my Sunday today because from tomorrow I have to go to work and I'm not sure if I will get time. And thank you for joining as well. Like whoever is here, let's try to go live. And I think this was a very short notice. ng-oat. Which I have recently released like 1 hour back. This was released yesterday night, I think, and so currently I'm in because I just wanted to use my Sunday because from tomorrow I have to go to work and I released this late. Thank you for joining as well. Like whoever is here, let's 2 a.m. in the night because I was so much excited about this product. Like hey, because this is something what I have been using in Mac. This was released yesterday night, so currently I'm in because I just wanted to use my Sunday because from tomorrow release this and let's try to release this late. Thank you for joining as well. Like whoever is here, let's 2 a.m. in the night because I was so much excited. This is made for you, right? Like because this is something what I have been using in I was yesterday so currently I'm in because I just first talk about let's basically release this and let's try to release this idea. Thank you for joining us. You guys all came because I was so much excited. This is made for you, right? Like because this is something what I have been using in I was yesterday so currently I'm in because I just first talk about let's basically this and let's try to release this idea. Thank you for joining us. You guys all went because I was so much excited. This is made for you, right? Like not even 10 because this is something what I have been using I was yesterday so currently I'm in because I just first talk about release this and let's try to release this idea. Thank you for joining us. You guys all went because I was so much excited. This is made for you, right? Like not even 10 because this is something what I have been using I was yesterday so currently I'm in because I just first talk about release this and release this idea. Thank you for joining us. You guys all went this is made for you, right? Like not even 10 because this is something what I have been using I was yesterday so currently I'm in because I just first talk about release this and release this idea. Thank you for joining us. You guys all went this is made for you, right? Like not even 10 because this is something what I have been using I was yesterday so currently I'm in because I just first talk about release this idea. Thank you for joining us. You guys all went this is made for you, right? Like not even 10 because this is something what I have been using I was yesterday so currently I'm in because I just first talk about release this idea. Thank you for joining us. You guys all went this is made for you, right? Like not even 10 because this is something what I have been using I was yesterday so currently I'm in because I just first talk about release this idea. Thank you for joining us. You guys all went this is made for you, right? Like not even 10 because this is something what I have been using I was yesterday so currently I'm in because I just first talk about release this idea. Thank you for joining us. You guys all went this is What about now? Rocky bhai, please help me. I see you are still watching. I see one people is watching. Can you confirm? Is it good now? Because I don't know. I don't know how can I test this. I did some rehearsal before coming with this app, but there was no problem at that time. Is it still there? Oh, it's clear. Nice. Um, I need one more time confirmation. Do let me know. What about now? Oh, that's great. Okay. So now I know the settings. So basically, my Mac OS screen capture was also recording the audio, and that's why you were hearing that. I'm so sorry. So basically, I just got an update in my Prisma Studio, which I usually use to do the live stream, and all my previous setting got reset. Now I have to just turn off the audio from the Mac OS capture. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Then I don't know how do I start again. Should I start again? What do you guys think? Should I start again like what I was explaining, or is it, or it was a bit clear? So maybe let me talk in just like 2 3 minutes again, like what it is about. So today I was talking about this ng-oat which was released yesterday night, and this is a semantic HTML component. It uses signals heavily, like there is no zone.js at all, and that was the reason that the compatibility of this library is with Angular version 21 and plus. Like if you need a very stable product, so you should go with Angular version 21. You won't find any problem. Okay, so this is what it is. So here you can find some details about it, like what exactly it is and what it really does. And I want to really focus on this part, that this component uses semantic HTML. The wrapper what I have created, it uses all of that, right? And some of the data here is outdated. Like for example, this 25 plus component was done maybe 1 or 2 week back, and now I think we support more than 35 plus. And same for the design token. Now we have about 87 plus design tokens, and I will tell you about the benefit of these design tokens, how this design token really helps you to do the customization based on your company's product. Because I want to be very honest, like no one is going to use the same theme what I have, right? Nobody will create the same kind of a look and feel in all their application, right? So we need to somehow give that kind of support to the user, that they can change things on the fly, and that's where this design token really helps. Okay, I'll talk more about theming here when I'll discuss about this in the theming section, right? And okay, one more thing before I again go further. The application what you see, this complete product what you see, right? Like people, I see most of the time people use Astro to build such product, to build such documentation related thing. But you know what I have did? I used my own ng-oat library to build this product what you see, to build this how do I say, the documentation website what you see. So everything whatever you see here, it's all built by using its own components. So here you see the table, here you see the code snippets, here you see all these tabs, the way you switch to code mode versus preview mode. Everything is done by using this ng-oat library, because I wanted to test my own library which I have built, that hey, I hope there is no such bug or issue and stuff like that. Okay, so I thought of why not create my documentation website by using this library itself. Okay, and that really that really helped me to get the validation that I think yes, this app, this library really works. Okay, because I really needed someone to test it for me, and I was the first one who tested this. Right, now again coming back, so how really I got this idea of creating this. So you can find that in the introduction section basically. And I was basically talking about a note of gratitude for a guy, Kailash Nath. I don't know if you know him, Kailash Nath, like he is the CTO of Zerodha. And this guy has released this oat UI, and this is what I was talking about. So he has already released something like this. If you go on the home, he says it's ultra lightweight UI library, which is just 8 KB CSS and JS. And this is what has caught my attention. And I'm like, hey, why not I use it? Because when I saw this library for the first time, I was so amazed that, wow, this gives me a look and feel of Chatcien, which I can use in my Angular project. Like this can be used in React or Vue anywhere, because this is, I think this is not frame. So can you see here, it's written no framework. So there is nothing like it can only be used on Angular or React. It can be used on all the front end like framework what you have. Okay, and I was just explaining, like when I was using this, I really liked it. And the problem basically started when I was using like something like drop down. If I want to use a drop down, if I want to use some other features like pagination, the progress, the sidebar. So from there I saw a bit problem that I had to create a wrapper, because this is pure CSS and JS, and for all the JS to use it in Angular, I don't want it to use that document dot event listener and all of that, because we have directives in Angular, right? And with directive you can create some wrapper around those JavaScript logic. And from there basically I got this motivation. Why not I create something out of it, this ng-oat. So from that's where I really got this idea that let's port this ng-oat this oat UI into called Angular library, which is ng-oat. And from there I got this idea, and that's why I had this note of gratitude for him, that ng-oat was not possible because of this guy, because he is the one who gave me the clear motivation and idea about creating something. Because when I started this, I was using all the CSS provided by ng-oat. Okay, and yeah, and if you take a look at the components what they have, they still have about, I'm not sure if 20 or 30. Like this misses a lot of things which I wanted to use. Like for example, this don't have file upload. Like for example, in Angular we use file upload, or maybe input OTP, or something called as I think there are some lot of things what I have created I can show. For example, chips, card, input OTP. So this is what all of those were missing on oat UI. So I thought of why not now, because now I really got the direction. Okay, now I have 10 components built. Why not create the rest of them which I use on like a daily basis, like which I really expect from any UI library like Material or PrimeNG, right? So I thought let's try to go ahead and create, because now I already know how to build this by creating like 8-10 components. And also shout out to AI agents as well. I really used AI agent to do a lot of stuff. For example, helping me to write the perfect documentation, helping me to add some difficult logic which could have taken like 2-3 days, but with the help of AI, like it was really easy for me to get those things done quite fast. And yeah, I think this is the AI world, and that's what people should do now. Like, start using them and start to also learn from them. Like, hey, what kind of code the AI generated, and how does it really make sense here, and how does it really fits in my how do I say, in my particular component logic, all of that. So yeah, and here if you see, now we support something more, like something extra, what is not yet on oat UI, because as I told you, this is just CSS and JS, and this is really uses your component. Like for example, now you want to use this, you want to create a basic 6-digit OTP for your product, right? Just click on the code, and that's all you need to add in your template, and that's all. The moment you add this, you will get this kind of how do I say, a component ready, just by adding one selector with your input. Okay, and yeah, of course you need a TS code, so I do have here import and usages. So you just need to import ng-oat input OTP. This is your template, and this is your single import what you have added, because this is standalone, right? So you need to import the component, and then that's all. This is how easy I'm trying to make for you all. And yeah, maybe you can go on this link, and you can basically go ahead and see all the components out there, like hey, what all component this really provides. Okay, so also today, if you have joined here, so I'm not just gonna explain you one by one. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a project by using this library. Maybe at least a very small blog project, which we can, so by that basically we can see how this component really work, how can we install it, how can we configure it in our project, and all of that. So that's what we are going to do today in the live stream. Okay, but before that, I want to basically talk more about what is the future of this ng-oat, like what next are you thinking about. So here if you see, right, this is AI world, and I know that if you are using this in your like VS Code IDE or Windsurf or Cursor, you really need something which can help you generate a good code, right? So for that, I'm actually now working on this llm.txt. So I will be creating this very soon, like maybe you can expect this by next week or next to next week. So I will be creating this llm.txt, which you can like tell to your cursor or to your agents that hey, please take a look up to this llm.txt and help me generate a login page, or help me generate a header, footer, sidebar, whatever you want, and you will get very better results. Okay, and I'm not just stopping with llm.txt, but I am also in process of creating a MCP tool, like an MCP server for ng-oat. Okay, and this thing gonna make your life even easier. Like if you are using, like for example, your AI agent doesn't know, right, what is ng-oat, because it is not that popular. It just like came yesterday night, and you cannot also find like much blog or any web content, correct? And for that, I thought of, let's go ahead and create a MCP. Okay, just in case guys, whoever are watching this live stream, if you guys are interested, if you guys want me to build this MCP tool in a live stream, just do let me know now in the chat. Like just give it a thumbs up, so that I know like people are interested to see how to create a MCP server, because we have a very great use case in front of us. Like now here really MCP makes sense, and if you want me to build this in the live stream, just say yes or no in the chat, so that I can take a look that should I do it in front of you, or should I do it like in my free time on the weekends. So do let me know if you're interested in such video. Just let me know in the comment. And this is going to be a great one, like building an MCP tool. Like for example, now this is AI world, and people really expect you to know all this jargons, like what is MCP, what is llm.txt file, what are these agents, and how can you build them, and all of that. So just do let me know if you need this. Okay, but yeah, this is what the future of ng-oat is, which I will be doing it very soon. Okay, now so Now let's go ahead and let's try to create a project. Okay, so I already have a project ready, which is ng-oat blog. This I have just now created like 1 hour back. And what this, maybe you can have this link and you can basically go ahead and check out this branch, and whatever you want you can do that. Let me see if I can paste it. Yes, I can paste it in the chat, so you can find the link there. You can go over there and you can basically clone this project so that you can also get started like what I'm trying to build today. Okay, so what this project has, so as I don't want to waste my time on creating a backend server, so this already has some predefined models, like for example your author, category, blog post, comments. Then you have some static data already. Like you can just take a look like what all things it has, some random blogs and everything. Okay, comments, then FAQ items. So, and also if you go inside the services, so in the services you can find your auth service, which we are basically trying to do the mocking, like it will return true, false. If you register, it will always register you. Okay, verify OTP, log out, update profile, and everything is there. All right. So I'm going to use this. This will be used so that I am not wasting time in creating the backend, because our focus here is to build the UI by using ng-oat. Right. Now, so let me open up this in the VS Code, and here you can find the same code what I was just showing there. Okay. Now let's open up the terminal, and please confirm guys if you guys can see the screen, if the screen text are visible, or should I zoom this a bit more? Okay, or is it okay? This much is okay. Just let me know in the comments or in the chat. Right, so now what I will do, so what I need, so this is a project which don't have ng-oat installed. So if you go in package.json, this just has Angular dependencies and Angular step dependencies, TypeScript, vtest, and that's all. Now let's go ahead and try to read our documentation. Okay, so to what thing we need to do, we need to install. So you have the step 1, step 2, and everything added here, and same thing you can find on npm.js. Okay, this one, npm.js. You can search for ng-oat. Here you can find let's program /ng-oat, and you can find the same, pretty much same steps here as well. And I'm glad to say this, okay, the numbers are quite good. Right, so same thing, you have this quick start, we have this, all of this, how you can configure, like how you can use it in the component. So the documentation is there on npm website as well. And there is also a really good website which I want to talk. This is npmx.dev. If you haven't seen this, go ahead and check out this website. This is a really good one, like created by the community members. And I remember I also have contributed to this one, so you can find my name here as well, which I recently contributed. This is a very great I would say a repo, which basically gives you a better UI UX feel about npm. So here also you can find my website, ng-oat. So here you can see ng-oat, and yeah, you can find pretty much the same detail and with some better look and feel of UI. Here you can copy as well, which is missed on npm website. So here you can see, right, you can get all the installation steps from here. Okay, so let me try to follow this. So what I'll do, I will copy this, and let's go here and install. Hope it gets installed, because I have never tested. I'm trying to do it live. I hope I have not broke anything yesterday night. Okay, I know this will fail, because I should use pnpm, because I have that set up. So here if you see, right, in angular.json, I have told my CLI that hey, my package manager is pnpm. So this is the new update of Angular. Okay, right, so So now what we did, we have installed this package, and you can verify it also from here. Let's program /ng-oat 0.24. Okay, now what is the next step? You need to, so there are two ways now. Either you put this inside your styles of angular.json, or else you can copy this and you can put this inside your style.css file. Okay, so there is two ways to basically go and import the styles. One thing I just want to tell that this tooltip positioning, this is going to be deprecated very soon. I know I have recently released and talking about deprecation, but now this is very much outdated, because now I'm using a tooltip completely by using CSS. So I had an idea of using CDK, like we have Angular CDK, right, to create some tooltip, but I'm ditching that idea because that requires a lot of logic and so much customization if I'm using the CDK version. So I thought, let's port this using like CSS only, and I was able to do it. So just to tell you what is that tooltip, you can go here in the components and you can find where is tooltip? Yeah, tooltip here. This is what tooltip means. So here you can see, this will be bottom, left, right, and top. So I'm using heavily CSS here to make it possible. Okay, right. So what I did till now, so I have also added the CSS. Now you just need to add this provide ng-oat inside your app config, and then you are pretty much done. So let's go inside your app config.ts and we can put it here as ng-oat, and we need to import. So because this doesn't know from where to import, so I need to add it like this. So this is not Angular, this is let's program /ng-oats. Okay, so now we have added the ng-oat as well, and now what we can do, we can run the project by using npm dev, or it was ng-dev if I'm not wrong. They have recently changed it, right? Like there are two ways, you say ng-serve or ng-dev, so both does the same job. You can open up here. So here if you see, right, all the UI, everything gets black, so you're not getting anything in white color now anymore. Okay, so now what I need to do, I need to get rid of all the HTML what I have inside this. Okay, and let's put here as h1 hello, welcome to ng-oat demo. See, which means it's there, it is working, right? Just to confirm if the stylings are applied, there is something called as text green or text danger if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it is applying, so which means we have successfully able to configure. Did you guys saw how easy it was? Just install, import the CSS and add the provide, and you are pretty much ready to start using the component. Okay, so as I want to create a blog website, okay, and creating a blog website, what you need, so you need something called as a toolbar on the top, right? Toolbar on the top. So how can I get it? So I will go to the documentation. Let's go here, and I need a toolbar, and there are different types of toolbar you can see. So I have this, right, and this really makes sense to me, so I'll just copy this and I'll go and paste it in my VS Code. Okay, so this gives you error, so let me first get rid of this. Okay, I'll talk about that again. So you go inside your app.ts, so here you can get rid of this outlet, and you need ng-oat. The name was toolbar, ng-oat toolbar. Okay, you save the changes, you save it here as well, and now you go back to your UI. Let me put it here. Can you see? Toolbar is ready. So here you on the right you have this profile, and this is how your toolbar basically looks like. So here what I need to change it to, let's blog. Okay, and here you have some options, correct? Now what you need, so now there is something called as this toolbar end, okay? And I want to change the theme, right? So if you want to build something like a theme, dark mode, light mode, so you need to write a service, you need to write some drop downs, you need to write I don't know what not, like you need to do a lot of stuff, if I'm not wrong, to maybe at least it will take your 20-30 minutes to create a dark and light mode. Now what we have this ng-oat theme selector, okay? So this is also a component. You go in app.ts and you say ng-oat theme selector, and you save the changes, you save it here as well, okay? Let me get rid of this button, I don't need it now, I'll do it later, okay? Now can you guys see now what I have in front of me? So I have a theme selector here, and I have system, dark and light. So currently my MacBook is using dark mode, so it basically takes from my system that hey, I love dark mode as a user. Now if I need to change to light, done. See, it just took your not even 2 minutes, I guess, not even, what, 2 minutes is also much, it's less than 30 seconds, and you are able to create a theme selector, a theme mode in your application. So you have a dark mode, light mode, and you have system. See, and if you want to know more about the theming, I'll just talk, because this ng-oat is not just limited to light and dark mode. If you want to see more about theme selectors, so I have a component here ready. If you see, this component has mode, like what kind of mode you need. There is a drop down mode and there is a toggle mode, okay? Let's go and change this to toggle mode. So if I go here and use mode, change it to toggle, and let's save. If you go back, can you see? Now I have a toggle mode. Like sometimes people use it here in the sidebar bottom, some people use it left, right, or whatever it is. So some people love this kind of way. So can you see, now I have light mode, dark mode, system mode. And now you saw how easy it was to do. You just need to change, you just need to add a one property mode, and then you're pretty much done. You can also like read others as well, like what you need. If you need to create an initial theme as light, you can just create initial theme as light and you're done. For example, you need to have a different option. Like for example, here you don't like the icons. Basically, you don't like this icon. You want to add your own customized icon. So that also you can do by passing this ng-oat theme option as an array, and there you can customize the way you want. Like there is an option here in the code, if you see. So you just need to provide some custom theme, you give a value, you give a label, and you can give some icons like hey, I like this icons, or I like that icon, and all of that. You just need to say it as themes and pass your array of custom theme option, and it will still work. Okay, right. Now now let's basically also talk about like this theming is there. This is just light and dark mode. But if I go more into the theming with the design token, again, I don't want to touch anything here. I just want to show you the preset themes what I have. So as we like, each theme provides this light and dark values. So if I need to customize, for example, I like this midnight. Can you see? Whole theme just got changed. I have amber, I have rose, I have slate, emerald, ocean, the default, sunset, forest. Like see, you have bunch of options which you can use, right? And this also you can switch to light and dark mode, right? So you're not just limited to dark mode, it also has a light version as well, light mode version as well. So midnight, rose, lavender, and whatever you want, you can just change it by just one click. Okay, and again, if you need more info about how to do this, so here you can find the detailed documentation about it, a detailed documentation, like what are those themes, how can you customize them, how can you override the css, like zero javascript, you just need to override them in the style.css. If you want to use it like at bootstrap level, you can also provide theme. There is a utility already, provide ng-oat theme, where you can change themes on the runtime. Then if you want to switch the theme, then I have this theme ref created, which basically here you can set the token of primary, secondary, background, foreground, border, whatever you need. Okay, there is also something related to scope. like, hey, only for this admin panel, like this CSS selector, change the token. That also can be done. So that's what I was saying, that ng-oat is not just limited to black and white, like dark and light mode. Here you can customize the whole UI based on your brand. Okay, and yeah, this is what I basically had in terms of theme. Okay, let's again go back. See, I have a lot of things to talk, and that is what it is distracting me from creating this blog project. Okay, but yeah, this is what I have here, and I don't need this toggle mode. I was happy with the drop down mode. Okay, right now, if you know, right, so if I have so in the blog, for example, I need just two option there, which is this, and I don't need this nav link, so I can get rid of this. Okay, you must be wondering, Sky, what is this stack and what exactly it does, right? You will see it over the time, and I'll talk more about creating a cards in blog, creating footer, creating some detail page and all of that. So I will be using this quite heavily. And again, if you need details, everything is mentioned on the documentation website. Okay, now here if you see, this is the toolbar end, which we have this selector. If you know about content projection, so you know what is this mean, toolbar end. So I'm using your content projection basically, right? So here we have a theme selector, and now there is a chance that in my website people will be logged in, right? So if you see here, I want to create another state by using the services. So in the services we have something called as is logged in, right? So I will be using to create two kind of profile. So for example, I want to like, this is my blog website, so here people can write a blog. If you're logged in, you can write a blog. If you're not logged in, then it will show you sign in button and all, right? So let me first go ahead and create the sign in button. Okay, and to create a button, I'll go again on my documentation, and let me reset this because my favorite is the default. Okay, and in the dark, yep. So I go here in the buttons, and in the buttons I'm going to use I don't know, let's use any of this button. Okay, so if you don't use anything, it is by default a primary button. So I can copy this ng-oat button. Let's go to the UI and let me paste it here. Okay, and we need to import ng-oat button component. Okay, this I need your component because we have a selector as well, I guess, if I'm not wrong. Let me again try to see. Okay, yeah, the error is gone. So yeah, this is what, okay, this is just a component, so I don't have that prefix. So here you can find the usage as well if you hover, right? So that is also, it is provided, like how do you use them. You can see the usages from here if you hover. Same for the theme selector, same for the toolbar. Okay, so you just need to hover and you can find the usages, like how this can, like how I can create something similar, right? So let's get rid of this. Okay, style URL. Okay, now we have a button. Let's save and let's see how it looks. So I have a primary button, right? And I need one more, and that is, I don't know what it's for. Okay, one for get started and one will be login. Okay, so here you can basically, you get some more options, like if you need button styles, so there is something called as btn style. Okay, so button style, you will have outline, and there is one more button. If you don't give anything, then it will be out of the box, the solid one, okay, or the filled one. So there is button style filled. Okay, and here you can also change the size of the button. So size can be changed, like you can just say this is my small button. Same goes with here as well. So this is my small button. Okay, now if you take a look here, can you see I got a perfect login get started button. And how I was able to do, because I have a perfect documentation here. So I know how to change the style, I know how to change the variants, I know how to change the sizes, because everything is there in the buttons. So here you might find, Sky, this is so bad, this icon buttons. See, the problem is currently ng-oat don't support icon, that's why this looks so bad. but there is a plan in future that I will be using some there are some predefined icon libraries which I will be porting it to the ng-oat. And once we have that icon library, then this will be fixed, because I don't wanted to install any external or CSS just to add this icons. So like for example, we have font awesome, just by using classes you can add, but if you have your own icon system in your project, you can use them and it will still work. You won't find such kind of a bad UI for sure. Okay, now so here what we have a toolbar somewhat created. Now what I need to do here, so we have a theme selector, which is good, but this theme selector should be only visible when my auth is logged in, right? So for that, let me go ahead and inject read only auth, and I have to inject auth service. Okay, right now why is it complaining me? Because I have already used it. Maybe I just IDE. So auth dot is logged in. If the user is logged in, so show something else, or else show these buttons. Okay, if the user is logged in, so I'm going to show them some user profile, right? And to create a user profile, I need some kind of a drop down. Okay, so let me show you how can I create a drop down, like drop down where you can select profile, settings, logout, something like that. So excuse me, so we here have a drop down, and I need something like this: profile, setting, and logout, right? Like something like that, what I need. So here, first thing first, I just need to import first. So let me do the import first. So let's go into TS. Imports is important. Oh, I don't need to do that, I guess. So we have ng-oat drop down component. Okay, it got added, and now you just need to copy something, which is yeah, this one. This is much better, so I can copy this and I can put it just below here. If the user is logged in, I'm going to show this. So so see, it depends. Like if you need this, you can do something like this. I'll talk about this more. Just give me some time. Let me get rid of this. Okay, and I'll talk about the selector as well. So again, let me get rid of it now. So here, if you see, you just created a very quickly a drop down for yourself. Okay, and creating the drop down was very easy. So yeah, because you are not logged in, so that's what it shows that. Let me go and do this. Can you see now? I have a menu where I can basically go ahead and select. Need to see profile, I need to see settings, I need to see what. Okay, now here if you want, right, so here this is my button. So here you can change the class to ghost, so that you won't find that. Yeah, see, I don't wanted that border, so I just said it as, hey, now you will be ghost. Okay, now what I needed here, so this I can basically change it to user profiles, like what is the current username. Okay, so here I can add something like auth, this is incorrect, auth dot current user dot name. Okay, if there is not there, then I'll just say sky. Okay, because I know, because I have not logged in, that's why. Because if you are logged in, then there should be some token, so it's all mock at the moment, so that's why I'm not able to show that. So that's what I added, this default. And then you can show user as my profile. Okay, then you can show something called as write a post. If you are logged in, then you can write a post. Okay, and just in case, you can also put here as an HR, if you know, right, just to add a line. You can go with that approach as well. So now if I show you that you have your username here, if you add some icons, right, it should look better. Let me add an icon. Okay, let me add that. Yeah, so here you can see the user profile, that guy, and then here you can see my profile. Here you can add some routing, you write a post, and you can do logout. Okay, now here if you remember right here, if you take a look on the documentation, you might see, Sky, what is this dd? This is just a component selector. If you know, right, template reference variable in Angular, if you know that topic, then it's easy for you to understand what is this dd. Okay, now that's what. Okay, oh, that's just me, I don't know from where I came to this. Okay, so we have this dd, and I'm going to use the same thing here as well. How do I get rid of this? You click this, yes. Okay, where is my author? Yeah, that's it. So I'm just thinking like, how do I explain? Yeah, so here you add dd, which is your drop down hash, and you can use this drop down, like what happens, like after you open change, right? What you need to do, you need to show dd dot. So here you can say, right, you get option to close. You have dd dot close. So for example, if you select the option and then you need to close the drop down, so that you can basically do it from here. Okay, so now if I go here, if I select, I think something just got broke if I'm not wrong. Let's see, because there was a way to do this. Okay, I know the issue, because this is from the directive and we are not using directive. Okay, so I'll tell you what is that exactly. Okay, so now for the drop down, there is two ways by which you can do. There is one directive way and there is one component way. The one which I was showing you was directive way. So there is something called as ng-oat drop down. So if you see this one, right, so this is the directive way of using this. So can you see here, I have the drop down, and then I can make use of this. You need to pass the instant to the dd, and then you can use dd.open or dd.close. Okay, but you need to have that directive to make it work. So if you add this, then you need to do something like this. So you get access to the drop down. Okay, so this is your ng-oat drop down, which you need to export. Okay, I think I am missing something in the documentation. Let me just go and check. Right, so here we have open change. That's good. I needed to see the imports. Okay, just one import, and this should have worked. Let me see, why is it not? dd.open events. Okay, I need to pass the $event, so let's do that, and then we can add on toggle here. On toggle we get the event of type, let's do any at the moment, but it should be event, so let's not forget that. Okay, and we can just do console.log just to see what is the toggle event it returns. So let's save. There is potential that I saw a bug. Wow, no, it's not. Here if I go in the console, now if I select something, so I see some event. So toggle event, it returns you a true or false. Okay, based on that you can basically access it, and then you can, if you want to close, you can close it. So can you see the event basically gets triggered from here. Okay, so if you open, the event is true. If you close, the event is false. So based on that, if you want to do something, so that can be done from here. So okay, now I get it. Even I just got a bit confused. Okay, so this is what basically we have for the drop downs. Now let's take a look what else we need. What else we need to build our how do I say, this website. Now I need a login page, because if you remember, right, we cannot see this profile until and unless we are logged in. Okay, so to log in, let's try to create a, now you will see how we can use forms, how you can create a forms very fast by using ng-oat. So let me get rid of this logic of not logged in to make it like this. Okay, and here we have to create two components. So let's go in the pages and let's create login.ts, and I'll also create one more, which is register.ts. Right, now what I will be doing again, I cannot like go ahead and write the whole code, because again we are not focusing on the logic part today, but rather we are focused on how can we create UI out of it. So I'm going to go and copy some code and put it over here, and I will explain you guys. Don't worry. So export class login page, and I'll put all of this here, and let me go ahead and import all the missing imports. Let's see, I hope it does from the correct path. Yes, 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 everything looks good to me. Okay, let's save the changes. Now if this is a component, then let's try to make it as a single file component. So we can say component, we can have a selector app login, and then we can use the template. Okay, and you can do something like backtick, and that's all. So here now we are going to create a login page. So login page, okay, same thing we can do for the register. So let's do that. Export, come on AI, help me, help, no, class register page, and on the top we just go and import like the component, and then use the component. Basically we have the selector, come on, okay, and then we have the template, and that's all. Right, and let me also grab the register code and put it over here, and then just let's focus only on the UI part. So this is my okay register page, put it here, and we do the quick fix to import all the missing imports, and always verify your imports so that nothing is going wrong. Okay, looks good, save. Right, now what we have, we need to create the login page. So let's try to focus on what all things we need to create the login page. Okay, let me just double check the list of components I have prepared for this. Okay, now for that I need a card, but before that let's configure the routing so that we can show some pages. We have a path blank, maybe, let's see, my focus is more of this login, and then we need to load the component, import login page, same for the path, import the register path, and I think we are pretty much good. Okay, so here we need router link. You first go and import, okay, router link, and now this should help you. So router, come on, yes, router link, this will take you to the login page, and this router link will take you to the register page, right? Okay, so we are reaching there pretty much. Now you click login, so it should change to login route, or it should change to the register route. Okay, but you cannot see the content because you don't have the content yet. Okay, so why not let's try to have, like, we can create a router, it's not a problem, but I want to go one level above. What if you in your component you need a sidebar? Because I think this is the right use case where I can show you how you can implement a sidebar here, and in the center, whatever the route will be, you can see the route here in the center, like login or register and all that. Okay, now just in case anyone, if you have any question, then do let me know in the chat. Okay, if you find like, hey, this is, I'm not getting it, explain me, I will do that, because my agenda is to basically use some components and show you how we can build this blog website. Okay, I know we cannot just do it in one stream, so I will be taking some 2-3 more stream where we are going to complete this project end to end by using ng-oat. Right, now my focus is to take a look at how does this sidebar works. Okay, I need to first go and understand. So there are some good inputs: open change, open close, toggle. Okay, and then I see, okay, So we are using this sidebar component, which is good. Here we can have some the left side header, my app, we have some UL. So this is open close. This sidebar only works when you are on the mobile mode, so that you can toggle the options. Okay, now for that okay, so we need this first, so let's go and import for the sidebar. Okay, so that we need inside here app.ts. Okay, again this router link has issue because I know ng-oat sidebar component. Right now, once you have a sidebar, first you need to understand like how does the layout basically should work. So on the top you have a toolbar. Okay, you have a toolbar on the top, and just below that you need to have this sidebar. Okay, and again there are two ways, as I told you. The recommended way is using, like, it really depends, like if you want to use directive or if you want to use component. So if you see our use case, we don't want to wrap, or because our toolbar is already ready, right? We just need something on the left hand side which is just below this. Let me go again. We need something below, just which should display here, so that we don't need to provide in the sidebar nav, left, right, and all of that. So ideally we can go with ng-oat sidebar. Maybe with the directive way we can make it more easily. So I'm just trying to show you all the use cases. So I showed you about the components. Now let's take a look at how we can make use of directives. So here you can see the options as well we are getting, because doing this is very easy with the directive. You just need to place some attributes, you need to call the SB, and based on that you can like make things work pretty much easily. Okay, so now we have this ng-oat. So now this is the very trickiest part to create a sidebar. Like a lot of people have faced a lot of issues while creating such thing, but with ng-oat it's not going to be the case. It's going to be the very much easier way to implement this sidebar. Okay, what does a sidebar need? So we have a toolbar ready, so let's close the toolbar, and just below here we have a div. Let's go one by one. Okay, so if you have a div, then you can attach the directive. So we have ng-oat sidebar. Okay, you have attached the sidebar. Now we have something called as export member. So here we can make use of this sidebar, and we can basically assign this directive to it by using, because in my logic what I have exported this directives which you can use to control some action. So we can just say ng-oat sidebar. Okay, now this is done. Now here, to just make it work, right, so you need to have this data sidebar layout. Okay, data sidebar layout. This is important. I'll tell you why this is important, because this I'm trying to get it from the oat, because ng-oat uses, or not ng-oat, from the oat library. Because if you take a look at the way they do, it's somewhat similar. So here you need to provide the sidebar layout. Okay, you need to provide a side and all of that, but now we need to control them using Angular. We don't need to have those click events, we don't need to have all those event listener. So here I'm trying to make life easy by creating directives. Okay, so but yeah, some fundamental still you need to use, and that is one of them, that you need to use this attribute. Okay, so now we have an attribute ready there. Now let's make use of semantic HTML by using a side. Okay, side, and this is going to be your data.sidebar. So we say data.sidebar. Same thing, I just got it from the documentation itself. And inside this you will create your nav. Okay, if you have a nav, you will have ul li. So you have ul and then you have an li. Okay, what li will have? Your li will have all your anchor tags, which you can replace with the how do I say, your own home. So you can copy some more li. You just stick with me and I'll show you how this things makes your life so much easy. So here you can have your blogs. Okay, you have about you, so you can put here as about. Okay, and that's all. So you can have your routing also on your sidebar configured. Now what else we can do here? So here, just by adding this, things will start to work out of the box. Okay, now but this sidebar gives you some power. Okay, so this sidebar really gives you power. I'll tell you how it gives you that. So if you use this sidebar, okay, which you just now have created, basically this sidebar that basically exports some click events. Okay, I don't know why it doesn't work. Okay, let me just do SD. Okay, we need to have a click event and then do this, because it will not able to, because it was taking it as an attribute. Okay, so we have SD, and when you say dot, right, so here you can see, okay, sidebar change, like open, toggle, you need to close the sidebar, all of those can be handled from here, so if you use it. Okay, now but I don't need this, like I need someone to open the sidebar, right? So where I can place that? So that I can place it on the top of the toolbar. If you remember, we have a Let's Program blog, and maybe if you take a look at this, so can you see if I make it small? Okay, if I make it small, can you see we have this selector, and the selector only appears, it only appears when your screen is small. See, and this is supported out of the box. Okay, and I'll tell you how. So what you just need, I'll just try to grab it for you and show it to you what I really mean by that. So let's go here, and if you remember, this is your toolbar, and just on the left you can do this. So you can just say SD dot toggle. The moment you add this sidebar toggle, you just add a class if you need. You can ghost, you can use outline, you can use whatever you want. Okay, so this click event, so this is where this directive was important to basically toggle this. So you don't need to create your own event listener or host listener, or maybe add some piece of JavaScript code to toggle this, because Angular doesn't recommend using document.event listener and all of that, right? So that's what now we have did here. So we have sd.toggle, and now if you take a look here, let's refresh this. Okay, so here you can see we have this sidebar, but now there is one problem, right? So it basically covers whole your screen now, which means this sidebar is not ideal. Like for some time people don't need this at all. They don't need navbar, they only need sidebar. So, or maybe you need some left navigation, left side sidebar, what PrimeNG has. So how can we fix this? Come on, Sky, how can we fix this? So to fix it, right, you can basically override. Now I want to teach you about how can you override some styles. Like this sidebar takes the complete height from the top. Okay, and now I need to override this. So two options. So here you can go to your sidebar, and you can basically add some offset. So for example, if you need to style this, you can just put a style. Okay, you can just say top. Okay, you have a top nav offset. So you can provide an offset, and you can add a variable. You can use a var, and you can say, hey, I want to give it a space. Want to give a space of 12, and this space 12 means 3 rem. Okay, this means 3 rem. Okay, you can also do it in CSS if you want, but I just thought, okay, let's do it here, just one liner. Okay, and now if you go right, so what it did basically, so this height, this size of this navbar was 3 rem, or in the token term it is called as space 12, and all this token is here. Okay guys, so I'm not saying anything like coming anything from out of the box. So this is space. So if you see, you can find something called a space here in the tokens. In the tokens you can find the space. This is the space 12, which is what I'm using, which is 3 rem. Okay, everything is documented already, so you can take a look what I really mean by that. All right, so by that you have created a sidebar, and if you take a look, now this comes out of the box. And you must be wondering, Sky, how does it work? This works because of this attribute called as data sidebar toggle. So it really understands if it is small screen or if it is a large screen. Okay, right. Let me, my dad was calling, so Okay, now, so sorry about that. Now, yes, so if anyone is asking you, did you created this via TypeScript? Yes, this is completely TypeScript, man. There is no JavaScript at all. It is built by using Angular itself. So Angular uses TypeScript. So yes, Shushant, it is by using TypeScript. Okay, but these all are semantic. These are all some HTML attributes. So there is no JavaScript involved inside. Okay, so don't worry. So right, so this is what now we have. We have a sidebar also ready. So here we can say home, blog, and about. So you can add some routing later. Okay, but for example, now you are not logged in, and I want to show some buttons here. Okay, so to show the button again, easy, right? How can you show? Let me open up this. Yeah, here is my sidebar. So now I have a nav, and inside this nav I can put some more li, and this li will have my li, and this will have a button, I guess. So let me put a button. Okay, so we can use ng-oat button. Why is it not okay? Because I have not imported. Is it ng-oat button? Yes, maybe. Yep, ng-oat button. We can put router links. Good, thank you AI. And then we can also add one more li, and then come on, help. This AI is stupid sometimes. Okay, no worries, I'll just copy this and just paste it here. And this, I don't want to put it like this. This is my sign in, and this is my get started for sign up. This is for register, and this is for login. And yeah, pretty much done. This is filled, save, and let's see how it looks like now. Come on, I'll tell you what is the problem going on, because my system is getting slower. I'm using MacBook M1 Pro, which is very much outdated now, and a lot of time I saw that issue. So please bear with that. So here you can see I have these two buttons, which is home, about, and okay, I'm not so happy with the styling. So for the styling, you can basically use some, so like something called as width here. But what I needed here, I'll tell you, I needed something here as a separator. Okay, I don't like this, like this is all sticky. So there is also something called as separator. So you can search about the separator. Here you can find the orientation. You need vertical, or you need, can you see now, content above, content below. We can use some sections. You will see this magic. You will see the benefit of this once you are creating a login page, like login via username, email, or auth, or via some Google sign in. So you don't need to do anything, just one liner, and that's all. Just add one line and it is ready. You don't need to customize or do a lot of stuff there. You have a vertical as well. So I'm going to use this one, ng-oat separator. So let's open up this, and let's go here, ng-oat separator. Come on, help me AI. Yes, that's not AI, that's IntelliSense, so sorry. So let's go in the HTML, and you can just put it here as ng-oat separator, and that's all. If you save the changes, you go back, you can find a separator got added, right, with proper spacing and everything. Now I'll show you something very interesting. Okay, something very interesting where I will be using some CSS utilities. Okay, and what are those? Let's take a look. Let's go here. Now for example, these two I can wrap it into a div. These two I can wrap inside a div, and there is something called as, I want to teach you about a class. Yes, I think he's right, but this is bad. Okay, yeah, something like this. So can you saw we have something called as vstack, we have something called as gap. So if you take a look here now, so stacks basically it makes you, okay, let me, this will not make sense because this is a vertical stack. If I do h stack, okay, and let me get rid of this paddings and stuff. So if I do h stack, see what happens. Can you saw it basically just came horizontally. So you don't need to write a display flex justify between, like display flex gap 2. So you don't need to, you just need to say at stack you need horizontal stacking or you need vertical stacking. So here we need v stack, that is the vertical stacking. Okay, and just by adding that you can basically like do it. It's that simple. Okay, and let's go back and see. Yeah, so we have that. So what if I want to add some width? So let's see, we can add some class. Let's go class, we have width. I don't know why this is very slow. We need to give this width full, because your nav should also have a width so that it should work in the bottom. Let me take a look. Okay, let me take a look. Yes, so I think for the width I'm just trying to double check because this number is correct or not. Your nav will take all the width, so let me also add a class. It should take width 100. I'm just making sure that I have it somewhere in the documentation. Let's go and find some utilities about the width. Yes, so you can have width of, yes, width should give you 100%. yes, so we can use this width 100. Let's see why is it not working, because we need to fix it. So what I need, right, I need it to be taking the whole space. So we have, can you see this v stack is display flex column and you have a gap. So all the utilities are already there, but I need to make sure this button gets a width. Okay, because we need to make it as host, I guess. Let me check it very quickly, because ideally it should have given the width. But why is it not? I'm just checking in the library code. Okay, this looks good. Okay, right. Okay, it should have worked because we have provided a width. Then the flex will be gone there. Stack width we can give as 100%. It doesn't take. Why? Maybe I need to check what's going wrong. Is there anything wrong in the console? No wrong, nothing wrong. Okay, let's see. We can just, okay, let's use something called as center, because I do have a lot of utilities provided. So this should make it center somehow. No, it is not working. This is the stack gap of 2. That's okay. Let me check what's going wrong. Okay, so now this is center, but I wanted this to have some good width. Okay, let's see how we can add it. Okay, what is this? Getting started, that's okay. And let's also add one more separator, ng-oat separator. Maybe I'm just missing some CSS, that's all. Yeah, this looks so bad. Let's get rid of it. I'm just trying to figure out what could be wrong, because we give a width here to the parent and this will take from here v stack. Center is basically makes you guys this center. So we also have a class which makes things easier. Let's try to figure out. I'm just struggling with the CSS now. V stack. Okay, this is display flex, align item center, justify content center, which is my center. That's good, but why it doesn't take the width? Interesting. It should have worked, guys, because ideally the way I have designed it, it should take the whole width if you add that stack. Okay, maybe let's skip this for the time being, but yeah, you can still style them by customizing it if I'm not wrong. Yes, padding is there. I need to take a look. Width should be 100%, and then you go to the button and then you give, okay, display content, you can give the width. Why it doesn't work? Because this is wrong. I should be able to give the width, guys. Just give me some time to analyze this. So this is the width. Good. Okay, that's margin what I have added. Margin start, which is good. I know this is going to be a very, very stupid one. Just because I'm doing live stream, not able to completely focus what it could be. Okay, so we have this tag, correct? Okay, we have this different gap added as the override here. Can you see the gap is that? Just to tell you guys what is that gap means. Let me check. How did I do it here? Let me check. What if I use the complete what I have ready with me? Does that really make sense? Let's see. Come on. Can get rid of this. Can get rid of this. My AI is completely not helping me. But yeah, this is what I really wanted, something to be done. Okay, let's save. Okay, there should be no error anymore. Let's go back. Very strange. I don't know what different I was doing. Let's check to verify what different did I do. All right, so we have this ul, we had some li's, which is correct, we had a separator, which is correct, then we have a new login. If it is logged in, then we show this, or else we show a div with an outline. Okay, filled, and I didn't find anything weird, to be honest. I really need to see what is the change. Let's put it here, and let's get rid of this again. Let me put my code, because I really want to understand. I really want to learn something, so I'm not gonna skip it. You guys can also take a look like what is really getting wrong. So now you have a ul with an li where you have this, which is good. Oh, don't tell me is it because of this router link. Okay, li, which is good. Separator is there. Then you have li again. Okay, then that you have an li, that's good. Then you have a div with a class vstack. Okay, what if I remove the center and then just keep a vstack with a gap of 2? That's okay. Did anybody find anything different than this? I really don't get it. Can anyone here identify what could be the issue? Guys, can anyone tell me what could be here the issue? Because I don't find anything different here. So new li router link, no. Don't tell me is it because of the router link active, man. No, it shouldn't be the case. So what if I just copy this and I just have it here? Do you think there is a difference between these two? No way, right? Okay, let's see. Right, let's go back. Wow, it just works. Did you guys saw? I did nothing. I really did nothing. I don't know, maybe it was taking from the cache or something. I don't know, maybe it was not able to reload. Maybe my system, as it's told you, right, my system is not so helping me today. So maybe, yeah, that could be the reason. But let me do one thing. Let me take this code rather, because this has some good icons and I really need this icon. So maybe, yeah, it was just some cache issue, guys. It was not me, it was some cache issue. So let's get rid of this. And yeah, this is what we really actually needed. So let's save this and let's go back. to the UI to see how things will look like. So now we have this home, blog, about, and here we have sign in and get started. Now if you click sign in, you should go to the login page. If you click get started, you should go to the register page. But here none of the contents are rendering. Okay. Someone said MT2 missing. I don't think so. That's the problem actually. Let's see if that is the problem, then this is something more weird, to be honest. It shouldn't be the case. I think if it is missing with that, then high chance I need to fix the bug. Come on, I'm not able to save, guys. See, I was telling you my system is behaving very weird today. See, I removed the MT2 and still, can you see it's no, I don't think so that's the case. What's your name? Shai Juice. I don't know if I'm spelling your name correct, but yeah, I think that's not the problem. Even if I remove it, there was not a problem. Let's get rid of this, save the changes, and now let's focus on the routing part, because now we have to create the route. Like when we click, we need to have your router outlet. Okay, to do this very simple. It's actually very simple. You just need to go here in the bottom, just the div ends. Here you can say this is your main, because we are helping in making sure the semantic HTML is followed, and you add a router outlet, and you can use self-closing tag. Okay, to use router outlet, you have to import router outlet. So let's go and add router outlet. Today's, I told you, my system, I need a new MacBook M5 Pro. So I remove that, so I have a main content here, and let's save. Let's go to the, now here if I click on this, so I should be able to see some card rendering here, because now we don't have any HTML code, that's why it is not showing. Now let's get started with the login page creation. Okay, so to create a login page, I'm going to use card. Okay, and to create a card, we have this option. So I will copy this and I will see what needs to be imported. Okay, so let's go here in the login, and here I need to have import. So I'll do import above, imports. What you need in the imports, you need ng-oat card header, ng-oat card. Come on, yes. Okay, so all of this you guys need to import. I think so I should have a usage. Yeah, exactly, I think so I have, so I can better copy paste from here rather than waiting for the IntelliSense to work. So I import this on the top. Yeah, so I have all of this now. Now this I need to use it in the template. So this is my template code, and for the template code, again I will copy. Let's copy this, I guess, or let's copy this, the basic card. Let's use this. Right, now I go in the template and put it here like this. Now I have a card. Let's see how it looks like on the UI. Okay, I go to the login, go to the register. Don't know why. Oh, okay, can you see there is still one problem, because now the content is showing in the bottom of the page, which means we have somehow missed the container. Okay, so we missed the container of the sidebar. So if you go back, I'll tell you, this is the very common mistake what people can do. So this guy has to be inside the div where you define the sidebar. So if you see, this is the div and this div ends here. So we need to make sure that your main content is just above the div. Okay, so that you don't do mistake just like what I did. So make sure that this is above this div, and now if you go here, you can see your card. Okay, I don't want the full space, so what I'll do, I will make use of a class called as container. And if you notice, guys, I'm not using Tailwind. Okay, this I haven't installed Tailwind at all. Whatever utility class what you see, all of this you are getting from ng-oat itself. Okay, and I need some margin on the top, like 4 MD4. Okay, let's save this, and now if I go back, see, now it took the container space, and now this is where your card is. Excuse me. Okay, Now, which means your card is also ready. Now what I need to do, I need to make my card center. I need to basically do some magic. So create some wrapper. Okay, I'll tell you what kind of wrapper what I mean. So this is my card. I will grab this. Let's do cut. Okay, now I have a div. Come on, not material div. Yeah, because I'm using template, so my IntelliSense doesn't work here. So I have a div, and inside this div I have my another div, which is for, this is just my wrapper. I'll tell you what this wrapper will do. I have another div, and inside this div I'm going to place my card. Okay, so can you guys see I have a div, and then I have a card. Now what I'm going to use, I'll show you. First I will use a class here. So first the class will be here, and I'm going to say this is going to be my max width MD. Let's save and let's see what happens. So can you see my card got a max width of, like, we will say, Sky, what is this max W MD? So you just need to style your card or anything. You just go here and you can find it in the utils. You can search about max width. Can you see now? Which means I'm able to give a width to my card which is of this size just by adding this one class. Okay, and that's what I did. I just give it a perfect size, so I don't need to write my own style. So with ng-oat, I'm trying my level best for you to avoid writing like own custom styles, like own styles there and all of that. So I'm trying to, because me, if you ask me as an like Angular developer, I hate writing CSS. So that's what I'm trying to solve here. Okay, now you saw this card. Now I need this card to be in the center. So what I'll do, I'll just say, okay, this is a very famous interview question for front-end guys. How to center a div? If you use ng-oat, then you just use center. That's all. The moment you write center, I'm able to do it center, like vertically. And now the size got changed. Let me give it as a, take a, from the full width, take this 488, like 448 pixel, which is max WMD. Okay, and the moment I do that, I have a card ready. Okay, now what should your card header should have? Your card header is for login, right? So we can go and change things for the login. So in the header, I'm going to replace it with some content called as welcome back. Then we have some bunch of classes. I'll explain you what are those, but let me save this. So if I save it, right here, you can see we have a welcome back, we have text and all of those information. Okay, what if I remove this? So if I remove these classes, what really happens is then it started to take the native styling, like, because every h1 h2, all the how do I say, the semantic HTMLs, right, they have their own styles, they have their own set of margin and padding, which I haven't changed, because if you install Tailwind, you basically lose the style what HTML provides out of the box. But I'm not doing that, so I'm just trying to still keep everything like semantic, what semantic HTML provides out of the box. So if I show you what I really mean by that, so if it is an h2 element, so can you see it by default comes up with some how do I say, with some padding, with some margin and all of that. So that you can, if you want, you can keep, or else you can customize them by adding some classes like, hey, I don't need margin bottom, so I say margin bottom as 0. So now can you see there is no margin at all. Now here you can see we have this text SM, so you can like, this is empty 0. I'll show you what happens if I remove that. See, because margin top was like nothing there. If I change it to text XS, so I can make it even more smaller. See, it becomes more smaller now. Okay, and this is what text light does. You can say text green. Hey, where is green? Text, I think so there was some primary, I don't know, I need to check about the text classes. Let me go and check that quickly. Control F, text green or danger, yeah, text success, my bad. So we can change it to text success, save it, and here if you take a look, it will change, like it will become extra small and will become in green color. Okay, but that's what I don't want, so I just still keep it like this, and I'll give it as light, so it will give that grayish shade. Like, okay, let it, yeah, it's still compiling. I'm so sorry guys, my system is very slow today. Okay, now can you see it just came. Now just below that we have a card body content. Okay, so your header becomes ready, and now inside that you can basically create your form. Okay, right, now this is my card content which I can remove, and this is my card footer, which if you want you can remove. Like, you don't need save and this, you need login and sign up, stuff like that. Okay, now let me do one thing. Let me grab some code which I got from the AI, and I'm going to update this based on our use case. So now if you see, my header is ready. Okay, and I will be using all the components from ng-oat. Okay, don't worry. Here if you see, there is lot of things here and there. Okay, I'm gonna explain them each and every line, don't worry. So this is ng-oat input. Wow, okay, then this should also go here. Come on, help. Come on, help. No, it's not helping. Okay, okay, what? Oat button, ng-oat check, add all missing imports, and let's get rid of which is repeated. My IDE is also slow. If you guys can see, it's behaving very slow. Okay, very slow. Okay, what went wrong? Okay, oat button. Now if you take a look, right, I'm going to hide this form for you because I'm using something different. I'm using here signal forms. Okay, so I've already taught about what is signal forms, and again, our focus of this today's live stream is not about how to create a signal forms. It's more about how can you use ng-oat components by you if you are using a signal form. So here I have a form already ready which has some validations and stuff like that. Okay, and to use a form, ng form, sorry, not ng form, if you need to use signal forms, I'm using signal forms, so sorry, you need to import this form field, right? So let's import the form field. Form field, come on, form field. Okay, so if you add form field, the error just vanishes, and here you can find the complete input. Here you can find I'm using some components. Let's see one of them. So we have ng-oat input, ng-oat form error, ng-oat checkbox, separator, and this is form field from the Angular team. Okay, and if you want to see, right, so can you guys take a look what we have really made. I can get rid of the footer, I guess. So let's, I don't know, we need footer. There is some unnecessary code which I need to get rid of. Yeah, this footer. Now I'm using an ng-oat card, and in the oat card I'm using ng-oat input, and if you see what this input provides, just if you want to know more, you go here, you find a lot of forms related stuff here, form elements. So here you can find text inputs. So you just need ng-oat input, and you can write label, placeholder, whatever the native HTML provides, everything is added by me. So if you want autocomplete, if you want the current pass, if you want what, like area label, everything is there. So I made sure that A11Y is there. The web accessibility, I have made sure it is out of the box if you use ng-oat. Okay, and this was just one of the example what I wanted to showcase. So just by using these inputs, you have select, text area, check boxes, all the examples you can find here, like all types of type, like there is that type. Yeah, we have type number, date, we have date time, we have type color, we have select as well. So I'm telling you, everything what you need to build a project is covered with ng-oat. Okay, right, now let's go here. So can you see, now just by using those, I'm able to create this beautiful looking login page, right? Here you can find the email, you can find the password. Can you see, I'm also able to get the validation, and everything is out of the box. Okay, now let me show you the code what I have written for it. Okay, what kind of code I have written. So here if you see, right, this is okay. Here I have flex goal gap. So if you remember, right, you don't need to use this anymore. What you can use, you can just use vstack, and that's it. So if you see flex justify content center, this and that, flex item justify between, you can just go ahead and use center. This is also kind of a footer. You can just say vstack, and that's it. If you go back, can you see? You still have a lot of things. Okay, so this is remember me. Let me change that. I think we needed a display between. This shouldn't be center. This should be justify between, so that's fine. So we need to still stick with that. This flex goal can be removed. This we can change it to vstack. Yeah. So here if you see, right, here we have like I made a lot of good progress already. Okay, and here you can find that we have the anchor tags, which basically shows like this, text decorated. Everything can be changed if you want, so everything is supported. So here you can find we have this form field, we have this sign in, so which means it tells that hey, you need to have a good, can you say, the form should be valid, it should be an email, it should be a password. You can click on remember me, you can add some more validation, and look at this beautiful thing, this or separator. And you guys know how did I made it? Just by adding one line. So in the footer I have a button which is sign in with the normal sign in flow, and then I have a separator just by a label or, and then I have like, do you don't have an account, then create one. So it was that easy, guys. Again, if you guys have any questions about this, like how you are making this, then do let me know in the chat. Okay, I can help you guys to understand this more. But just look at the piece of code what I have written. Do you think I have written any custom styles? Like, you won't even find any style.css here. There is no such. Without even writing a single line of CSS, I'm able to build this login page. It's just some basic classes like vstack, flex, vstack, and widthful, and that's all. That's all. Okay. Right, so now my login is ready just by using all this. And now you must be wondering, Sky, how did you able to show the error? Because this is a signal form, guys. This is a signal form. What you see in front of you, it's a signal form. Excuse me. Right, so, and if you see, this signal form supports all this form field, and if you remember, if you have multiple errors, like for example, you can have multiple validations, right? For example, we have required, and then we have, it should be a valid email address. So here if I show you, right, this is required. If I add some ABC, can you see it also supports the multiple error messages? Please enter a valid email ID. And to do this, right, you need to write a for loop and do whatnot. But with this ng-oat, you just need to write one line and you are done. And that's why I say, right, this oat.ink, you won't find anything called as inputs and everything. This is what it was missing, which I wanted to create, and that's why the birth of ng-oat was happened. Okay, now we have all these inputs and everything to create such a form. Okay, password is required. Here you can see password should be 6-character length and all of that. Click on remember me, click on sign in, and that's pretty much it. So can you see now I'm getting some error? I'll tell you why, because maybe it's getting reloaded. So what we need to do now, we need to now create the register flow. If you click on get started, you need to have a register page. Okay, now for register page, what I'll do, I'm going to pretty much copy the whole code and then just explain you what I just did, just to make our life easy. And again, if you need this code, you will find it on GitHub. You can just go and check out this. I'm gonna push all the code here. Maybe let me start pushing them one by one. Okay, let me add this, make use of AI to write a commit message. I don't need this much. So feat added login and registration page with routing. So let's commit this. Just in case if you need to see the code, you can go here and find it out. So I just added one more commit just now. Okay, you can find this. Let's go. Now we need to work on the register. So for register, as I told you, I'm gonna copy the whole code and just make it work here. Okay, now let me explain it to you what this basically has. So I did some bunch of imports for sure. I need like button, progress, ng-oat, radio button, checks and everything. Okay, let me also in the meantime get the login thing also ready, because now you know how the login was built. Okay, now we need, okay, just to show you what things got changed. There was some imports changes, there was some error message what I have added by using alerts. I'm using alerts as well, and some this style is not really required, so I can remove it, that's not a problem. Okay, and then you see there is no logic change, just some classes. This again we can change it to v stack. Okay, so that no changes there. This also changed to v-stack. Okay, and now if you see, only this is the change what I have added. So I can get rid of this, I can get rid of this, and that's all. So only this change has been added, which basically if there is any error it will show this alert, that's all. Okay, now what is the next thing I wanted to do? Yeah, let's go in the register and let's try to see what the register code has. It has the exactly same code. Okay, we have center, width, full, max. All right, like if you are a smart developer, then you will definitely create a layout. Currently I'm not creating that, so you can create a layout and this code can, so that we are not repeating this code, so we don't need to repeat this code. We create one single layout and we can just render two different content like login and register, because currently I'm not doing it because my motivation, like my motto here is to explain you how to use this component, that's all. Okay, now let's see, this is still not getting saved because my ID is low. Some questions: can show core code, how was directive and components were created, just a high level. Yes, I can really do that, because there is a plan that I will be making this code open source, so that if there is any issue, you can create a issue in GitHub. You can basically help me to contribute, like if you see something is wrong which you can fix, so you can help me there. The only thing is bothering me at the moment, I want to complete the MCP server and the LLM text, and the moment I am done with that, I'm gonna make this open source and people can use it, people can fork, they can create your own version out of it. I have no problem at all, so I will be doing that for sure. So there is a plan for that. Maybe next week, as I told you, right, we will be building our own MCP server, so let me try to do that live in front of you. How I'm, maybe at that point of time I can also show you the code base, how is my code base, because yeah, it's going to be very interesting for someone who is like made to senior level developer. They will really understand what I made, but for juniors it might be a bit difficult to understand the code base, to be honest. But yeah, let's see, let's keep that for next week. Right now, so I have a register page ready, and here if you see, I'm using bunch of new components like ng-oat progress. So if you go here and you can find this progress, you can see the progress here. You can add some values, and based on the values you can find the progress level. Okay, so this is what I'm using it over here to create the account. So now here we have 3-step process to create an account. Okay, we have footer which says back to login, we have next which says to the next step. Right, now let's also go to the code and see what else we added. So now we're using ng-oat alert. Is a very simple alert, I'll show you how it looks like. So if you go here, we have alerts, which is like this. So we have a default, we have size variants, like you need compact, you need the default one, or you need a comfortable one. So you can find all sort of sizes and variants here. Okay, so based on your like need, you can use it. And you have dismissible as well, which means here you need to see that this is dismissible true, so that it will show that cross icon and you can handle the dismiss event here. Okay, now so this is what I have added here. I think rest all is just the same, like ng-oat input, error, input and error. Then we have step 2 with the oat select. Okay, you remember, right, we also have a select element. Now you will see everything in action. Then we have a file upload. Okay, we can do some picture upload as well. So again, this is coming from here. File upload is, where is it? Yeah, file upload. So I'm using all these components there. Okay. What else? Let's take a look what else we have added. And yeah, we have a switch button, so that's okay. And can you see everything is natively supported, like that we use in the same way in normal HTML as well. So it's the same way you can use it here. And that's pretty much it. And then in the step 3 we have radio buttons. Then we have a footer, basically to go back and create account, and that's all. And here you can find the real model. Let's take a look here. So here you have a signal form which we have created. Then we have role options. You're a reader, writer, selected role, subscriber newsletter, then who did referred you. I'll show you all this content on the UI once we will see the registration flow. And this is just the pure logic. This I can also build, but this is completely, I got it from AI, so I'm not gonna lie. I'm using AI, but I know what this AI generated code does. Okay, so there's a difference between how do you use AI. Okay, just don't use AI blindly. Right, and this is pretty much it what I have. So let me show you on the UI how it will look like. So here we have create account. We are on the first step. We add some name, John Doe. Okay, and then you can add maybe I'll put it's fine. I'll put a password. Okay, then you can click on next. Did you saw the progress is also working here? This is the drop down I was talking about. Here you can find the drop down. You are a reader, a writer, admin, whatever you are, like what kind of account you are going to create. So I'm a reader, so you can click here to upload the picture. If you click, can you see it is opening the picture for us? Okay, if you click here, it will open the picture and you can upload a picture here. And here you can see subscribe to newsletter. We are using this how do I say, the toggle. Okay, subscribe to newsletter, you can say that yes, and then based on that you can click on next. And here you can find how did you heard about us, and here you can find, right, like the radio buttons, and you say yes, I agree to whatever you said, and based on that you click on create account, right? And once you click on create account, I want to do a verification process like two-factor authentication, like OTP verification. I will say, so how do we create one? Because if you see, we have already a input OTP, and I'm going to use this to create that flow. Because currently, if you remember, if I click on the register button, so that is going to take me to this route called as verify, and we don't have that yet. So let me go ahead and create the verify page, verify.ds, right? And let me grab the whole code and put it here. Okay, now what this guy has, again, something easy to understand. Again, a card with header, some alert which you already know, then some boolean which basically adds a spinner. Like if the verifying process happens, we are using ng-oat spinner. And now let me show you how does a spinner look like. So this is the spinner code. You need to have a small, default, or large. Okay, so you can say we also have overlay on the card. So for example, you want to make sure that whole card gets disabled if something happens, so that also you can do, so that no action can user perform. Okay, and this is the easiest one, like the very simple one. Okay, so this is what the spinner I have added, and then here we have in the else case our input OTP, and that's all. Rest all is just normal basic alerts, and we have footer to basically resend the code and verify the flow. Very easy code to understand. Again, I will be pushing this code to the GitHub, you can find it there. Now let's save the changes. And let's go to this flow. Now we need to make sure that the route is configured, so let's configure the route. Come on AI, you can help me. No, it's not helping me. So we have verify. Now should you help me? No, still not helping me. So we need to do a load component, and let's get this. It's not helping because my IDE is slow today. Can you see it is still loading? Because of that, I cannot do anything. Yeah. So we change this to verify, and we are pretty much done. Okay. Now let's go back. We create a new user. We add password. We go next. We choose as a writer. We go next. A friend. I agree, and I click on create account. Can you see now we have a toast message on the right? So we have this toaster created, like register success, account created. You can verify your email code. And here we are also showing the alert, and this is the alert what I was talking about. So this alert, I'm using the default one. This is the default alert what I'm using, in the black color. And talking about the toast, this is what the toast we have success, we have info, warning, and then we have the error. Okay, here we can dismiss, here we can say persist and dismiss, that also is provided. Like for example, if you want to close it with this, it's also there. Okay, so you can find the code here for how to trigger this. So you can find the complete code here, like you need to inject ng-toast, and you have success, error, show. Then you also need to add some options that you can do by, like what variant you want to show, the duration, and if it is dismissible. Okay, now let's go back to the code again. So now we saw the alert. Now here you can add the OTP. So 121, and you click on verify, you click on resend as well. So code resend, you again saw that OTP. You can reset it if you want, that is also provided, but I want to verify. So if I click on verify, so you see the loading of verification, and you can see email verified successfully, right? The correct flow would be that once you click on right, so let me see a comment, interesting comment. By the way, I'm getting oat related YouTube ad while, oh wow. I'm not aware, man, what is the YouTube algorithm. Okay, I must have disabled the ad then. I'll do that next time. Why is it showing ad in the live stream? It shouldn't show because I have disabled the ads for live stream, so it shouldn't show ads. I don't know, is it a YouTube settings or I can also control? Okay, never mind. So this is what the flow was. So here if you want, you can change this settings. Okay, so if you go to the verify, if you want to, like, hey, no, I need to make the length as 8, you can do that. Like you can put the 8 and the success should be after 4, so that also you can handle. So if you save, so now this becomes 8 digit. Okay, so depends on your company use case, what you need, you can add it over here. But if you want to know how to customize it, this is the documentation you should refer. So if you need with split separator, you just add like, hey, separator after 3, then it will add a separator. If you need a 4-digit pin, simple length. And if you need masking as well, yeah, this is very important. Like sometimes you don't want to show the OTP, right? So you need to add a masking. So if you add masking, then you see star. Disabled is, yeah, for example, your OTP someone added, now you click on submit, so you don't want user to change it, so you can change the state by enabling disabled as true, and that's it. Yeah, and I hope you guys are liking it, whatever I have showed till now. If you do, then please give it a thumbs up. Please give a thumbs up to this video. This will really help me to motivate to keep coming up with such kind of product for you all. Right, so and also make sure to please read the documentation thoroughly. Like if you are someone new who are starting with get this ng-oat, the documentation gives you complete detail about this component, like what all inputs and what all outputs this component has and how you can use them. Okay, now let's go here and let's try to click on verify and see the loading is coming. And can you see invalid verification code, please try again. For example, something goes wrong, so you need to show the alert, so you can show the alert also here, which is in the bottom, what you see, and here you can close it and boom, it's all good. Right, so this is what I wanted to show you all, and let's go back to the home page. Okay, because this button got disabled because I have written a logic that if verify is success, which means it will log in you, and then this gets removed. That's why you saw the UI got broke. Now what we need to do, now let's try to understand the code, what happens after the verification is success, because we are just trying to mock all the flow. So it takes a delay of 1.5 seconds, then it goes to the blogs page, which means now we need to create a blog page. So let's go here in the pages, blogs.ts. See, I'm not using dot component all. Now it is React 8 is not recommended, so I'm not using it. Let me grab the whole code and put it here, and again I'll follow the same approach of explaining you line by line. So again, we have all the imports, and after the imports, here you can find the things what I'm using. So I'm using here a breadcrumb. Okay, now you'll ask, Kai, what is breadcrumb? Let me show you with an example here. So if you take a look at the breadcrumb, that's how it looks. So you have breadcrumb items, you have outputs, you have interface, and this is how it looks like. So here you can see home, component, breadcrumb, which is the active one, which is in bold. We have different types of breadcrumbs here. Okay, we have some with deep hierarchy as well. So everything just works out of the box, so you don't need to worry. Just in case if you want to see some code samples, so I have already provided this recipes. So in the recipe you can find most of the things, like registration is already there. Okay, so I think this is all with validations. Here you can find sign in with GitHub, sign in, you have file manager. Here you can find the breadcrumb is there. Okay, you can do the upload here, the upload button, then the search items. From here you can find the table as well, because this also has a table, but I'll talk about table separately, because table is something is very complicated to develop, but this is just a basic version of table which I am providing with ng-oat, but there will be a lot of improvement in future where I'm going to add sorting by using some directive, the way Angular does. So I'm going to follow the same approach the Angular Material does. Basically I'm going to follow the same approach, but it's still work in progress. Okay, but here you can find all the list of recipes which you can also use it in your project. Okay, now let's add the verification, and then let's click on verify to basically do the login. I know, because I did it one time, so it will fail as per the logic. So maybe we can just go and allow it. Let's go and allow the flow. Let's go to this verify, and okay, that's okay. And then because it is now not matching the code, that's why it was throwing the error. The code should match. And now if I add OTP verify, it should take me to the next page. Why is it not? Let's say okay, code learn the 6. Okay, code says we say full digit, email verification. Okay, my routing is not there, so let me also try to add the route. Let's add the route, and then we can see the whole flow, how it will work. Okay, so it should work, so don't worry guys, it's all mocking of data. And maybe I'm gonna come up with a project where I have a real backend to show you the power, because going forward I'm gonna use ng-oat in all of my projects, to be honest. So this is my blogs page where I have breadcrumbs. Then you already are aware of h1p tags. We have this search input. Let's talk about this search input, because now I'll show you what this search input is capable of. Okay, and I can talk about it in the example. So if you take a look at this search input, this guy has out of the box debouncing. Okay, here if you find, right, if I want to search about like Angular tutorial, see, it only emits after 1 second. So it debounce after 1 second. So for example, on every keystroke it will not call the API. It will wait for a second, and then it will basically trigger the event. Same goes with here. So this is some keyboard shortcut what we have added. So if you say Command K, you can basically go and search. Okay, so we have this Command K support as well for keyboard shortcut, and this guy is having debounce out of the box. So here you can find the query is instant, and the last search is something which comes after 300 ms. Okay, and this is what component I'm using it over here. Here you can add the debounce by your own mean. Like for example, you need for 1 second, you can change it here as 1000 ms, and here is your search event which gets triggered after like 300 ms. Okay, let me take some comments. Super, I have many questions. What is your question? Please list them down. Okay, the question maybe is, are you talking about the next session we will have about how did I build this? I think so. Yes, so let's keep all this question for that day. It's gonna be a fun, basically, for me answering all this, like how I build and everything, and a lot of people can learn a lot of things out of it. Trust me. So there's a comment, sir. Could you please create a complete video of how to do setup of micro frontend using module federation? I think for module federation, I remember Chetan Jogi. He is my friend from Learning Partners. I think he recently created a video about setting up a micro front end using module federation. But if you ask me, if you want a video from me, then I can consider that for sure. But I will be using native federation. So I did it, like I was using it like quite a lot in my previous company, and we were migrated from module federation to native federation. So if you want such thing, maybe I can create one. Yep, for sure. Thanks guys. If you have any questions, just put it here in the chat. Okay, I will answer them. Okay, so now here we are on the blog page, and now we are taking a look at how we have created this blog page. Okay, here we can have a toolbar which search plus all those feature. We have this ng-oat select. We have a toggle group. We can do some toggle, like, hey, what I see, all of this, what you see, right? When you see SVG, it all comes from AI. Okay, so again, I am not the creator of this SVG. I just ask AI, can you create me some kind of a tool by using my ng-oat library? So I gave him the context, and based on that, AI has generated some code which maybe I need to refactor, because if you see, there is no such class which is like difficult to understand. It's all easy classes. I'm not using any CSS. I'm just using bare minimum classes, and that's all. Okay, here if you find, we have a toggle group. Sky, what is toggle group? Again, the documentation is your buddy. So here you can toggle what you need: left, center, right, which one you need to toggle. See, right, if you click again, it's none. Center, if you click again, it removes. So this is your toggle, like which one you select, based on that it persists those value. Okay, so this is my toggle group, and based on the toggle group, I have some icons by using SVG, and I'll show you how it looks like, don't worry. Then I'm using the category chips. So I have ng-oat chips group. Okay, and inside that I have ng-oat chips. I'll show you what is this chips. So if you go here you can find a different like, again, first read all this details here, what this component does, and then you can find some examples. So this is some default chips. This is some removable chips. You can remove, like the way we use tags, right, in Angular. Yeah, and then you have selectable chips which you can select. Then you have chip groups. You can do some grouping of chips based on some arrays, right? You can just put them into a group, and then based on the group you can have a multi-select or single select. Okay, so you have a chip group where you can just do single selection, like I can just choose active, I can just use pending, I can just use archive, one at a time. Okay, we have this as well. For example, you say, and what kind of technology you can say Angular, you can say React, you can say Vue.js, something like that. So you can create all these chips within using chip inputs. Again, the code is pretty simple. You just need to put your ng-oat chips input, and then that's all. Put your tags, and some disabled, which is really required for the having the semantic HTML things, to also disable some HTML tags. So that's why I have added it. So that's what I'm using here as well. So just to show you, this is how it looks like. And again, separator you already know now. I have a loading. This is interesting because here I have a skeleton. Remember, right, like this skeleton you see in a lot of projects, people use a skeleton. right? And if I show you skeleton, this is the example of skeleton. Here you can find a different types of variant, like we have line, box, how much width you want to give. You can configure it from here and you can make something like this. You have a card loading placeholder. Again, most of the codes is already there. You need to just copy paste and change it the way you want. Okay, and again by writing 0 css. Let's go here and let's click okay, verify. Yeah, verification success, but it didn't took me to the blogs page because I have not created the route. Is it? Yes, the route is created. Then let's go to verify. This should navigate me to the route. Why it didn't do? 12 verify. Okay, so verification success. Can you saw the verification was done? You saw the toast on the right, and here you can find something really interesting to see. You saw I was using a breadcrumb on the top. See, this is my breadcrumb. If I click this, I can go to the home page, but home page is not yet developed, so we need to create a home page. That's why the routing might be failing. If I show you, the route might fail. It says that hey, the home page is not there because there is no URL, so no click happens. So this breadcrumb is already aware that if there is a link URL or not. If there is no URL, it will not do any action, and you won't find any bug here or any compile time error or any error in the console. Okay, that's the benefit of that. Now here, if you take a look, here we have filter post. Here you can find about Angular. Can you see I just got Angular. If I also have my chips. For example, you just need Angular, you need TypeScript, you need CSS, DevOps, design, performance. See, there is no performance, so here you can find hey, no post found matching your criteria. Don't you think this is a production ready application, which I'm just using all the ng-oat components. Okay, I'm not using anything out of anything different than ng-oats, and you can find everything looks so neat and clean. Everything looks so neat and clean, right? I'm making use of the grid, which okay, now you must be wondering, Sky, how did you made it responsive? If you see, right, it's very much responsive, and the responsive is out of the box. And you will ask me, how did you made it possible? I made it possible because I know my documentation. I read my documentation, and if you go here and search about layouts and you go about grids, so here you can find how can you create such kind of a layout. So we have this row. If you use row, then you use this col4, something like bootstrap. Then we have some mixed width by using row. Okay, we have this all column sizes. This is something called as bootstrap. So this is some responsive behavior, what you can see, less than 640 mobile, the small devices, and greater than that. Then you can see some col spans. If you use col spans based on different screen size, you can change. Okay, then the one thing I'm interested in, this container queries using grid. So I also have that option as well. For example, you love grid, so you can use grid classes, and you can just say hey, this is col4 and col8. Okay, just in case if you want to have a better version of it, like you need to handle something by auto, you can use grid auto, and it will take the sizes automatically with the proper gap. And if you need to use the single liner, like hey, you need to define it in just one line, you can just say this is grid and I need it to divide into 2 columns, and it really does it for you. And everything is just by adding few classes, and you can get more information on the website itself. So here I have added everything possible to give you the understanding about this each feature. Okay, now let's go back to this and let me show you how did I build. So let me take a question before that, if I have any. Sir, Chetan sir created monorepo approach for micro frontend. So sir, I request please one video on how to using model federation or native federation, which okay, I cannot promise you like I will come up with next week or next to next week, but yeah, this is, I'll keep it into my pipeline because I will be busy with some of this improvement of ng-oat. Once I get, maybe let's do one thing. Can you ping me on LinkedIn? Just ping me on LinkedIn, let's connect, and I will help you out to how to get this understanding about this model federation, and maybe I will recommend you the better way to learn this model federation. so that you're not just waiting for my video, or I can basically give you a correct guidance, okay, to learn this micro front end with model federation or native federation, right? If anyone has any such doubt or question, please ask me in the chat section, okay? Now, this is what I was able to pull off, and here you can find I have a drop down. So I'm using a drop down here. You can see most liked, most popular, like whatever the content you need here, right? It's all there. And you just saw the skeleton as well. So this is the skeleton what I was talking about. To show the skeleton for some more time, let me change the ng on in it, and let's change it to, where is that, control F, set timeout. Okay, so this is loading false. Let me make it, okay, let's see if that makes it work. No, it doesn't make it work. Why? Oh yeah, because my page reload very slow. Okay, so here you can find, this is what I was talking about. This is the skeleton loading, and here you can find after 10 seconds your video. And here you have this tab as well, and can you see I'm using tooltips as well, tooltip bottom. And let me show you how does the tooltip looks like. Tooltip, okay, here you can find I have a tooltip called as text, and I'm saying position, which position you need, you can just use it, like which position you want. If you go on the top, here you can have the tooltip position bottom, you can put what text you want to show, and inside that if you have any icon or anything, you can just wrap it inside the tooltip. Okay, so you can wrap anything inside the tooltip, and the tooltip will just show out of the box. So here if you see, I'm wrapping it inside this, and I can find the tooltip. Okay, I can change the position if you want. You can just change it to left, so now it will start to show the content from the left hand side. I just need to wait for it to load. Let's wait. Can you see now it shows on the left now? Okay, left and bottom. So this is how easy it is now to use tooltip. And here if I click this, you can change the view of your content, right? So you have this grid view, then you have this list view, and see how easy it is to do, right? And then we have a pagination also here in the bottom. Can you see? I can click the page 1, page 2, see page 2, I can click page 1, and here I have previous as well to go to the previous, and I have next here to go to the next page, right? Now how did I implemented pagination? So let's also take a look at that. So we have a pagination. Can you see I have a pagination created? Here you can add total pages, what is your current page, maximum visible, how much you need, and the page change event, right? And if this is very much confusing, or if you're not able to get this, then I will recommend go to this doc and find a very easiest example to understand how to use pagination. So here if you find the code, right, you just need to have a total page, you need to have a current page, and then there is an event, and that's all. Just by adding this, you can create this beautiful looking page. And this also supports ellipsis, like for example you have so much big page, you can also show this. Okay, you can go to the last page, first page, and all of that. So this is how easy it is to basically develop now by using ng-oat. And without, okay, let's see the light mode, guys. I haven't talked about that yet. So now can you see, now this is the light mode where we can find this whole project. See, we can do this. I see there is some issue, let's try to fix it. So can you see now I have this issue where this is the list view, and I have grid goal. I'm just trying to fix this guy. So I might be using somewhere called as badges. So this is my badge. Here you can just say justify between, and this is just gap, which is not required anymore. Okay, and maybe we can just use here vstack, something like that. We can do vstack. We can use vstack to basically add some good spacing. Let me see if we can do that. Let's get rid of the whole div and say edge stack, and edge stack already has some gap, so let's wait. The problem is, guys, this is very unstable. My system is, just because I'm my lot of things are running behind the scene, and because of that my system is very slow to respond. Can you see now? Just by adding a vstack, I have a very proper space in between. Okay, we can put some margin as 2. We can also give some gap of 4, or maybe gap of just 2, just to make it more better. And if you see, right, there is no such classes which is very hard to understand. Everything is very easy to understand. I hate this is from AI, of course. I don't need that, so I removed it. And this is just text access, text light, text small, because you need to handle the typography, because it is very opinionated. I cannot give you a component where you cannot change the height of the the size of the headings or size of that. So I don't want it to control that, so that's why I have this class utilities which you can use to size your things the way you guys want. Okay, right, so let's go back, and here you can find now the spacing is better, and you can find better details here. Yeah, okay, so this was light mode, but I just don't want it. It is quite irritating to my eyes, right? And yeah, this is what we have just now got. So this is, I think I have covered most of the components, but now what I need, right? I need now let me show you something which is already ready, and maybe which you can find. I will push the code samples to you all. Let me just go and run it in the serve -port 4100. So because I don't want to waste much time here, because it's already been 2 hours that we are talking and we are creating this thing by using ng-oat. Let me go to a project, and I'm trying to create a running project which is already created by me, so that I can show you all the components there, like, hey, this ng-oat is production ready, just to prove that point. Okay, so this is what I have created. This is the same thing what I was trying to build with you all. Here you can find we have an alert, we have how do I say, the pagination out, no, not the skeleton loading, and there is some interesting, to be honest, thing which I want to show you, and that is carousel, because carousel is something which I always go and install some third-party library to have a carousel. So I'm gonna change that now with ng-oat, so that you don't need to go somewhere else to have carousel. Let me see, I have to get rid of this home page, because I know I changed something in the set timeout. So I'm just set timeout. Okay, so it has like 60 seconds loading, which I want to change it now. So let's just give me some time to change it. Yes, so in the home settings, this was 1 minute. I can change it to 1500 or maybe 200 ms to make it visible. Right, so this is the final product what you guys can expect. So if you go on the blog pages, so here you have a blog which I was just showing it to you all. You can filter the post based on some search keyword, like you have building, so see building, all of those are coming. If I just search for Docker, so I just see Docker, you can cancel this, filter gets removed. If you filter something which you don't find, you show this, you can clear the filter. Then you have this. Now if I click this, now it will take me to the home, because now the breadcrumb, the URL exists. And this is the carousel, what I was talking about, carousel with captions. So here you can find, right, you can see what you are, like what kind of blog you have recently added. You can see some trending post. You have a carousel here as well, which you can slide. This gives you more better experience if you're using it in mobile phone. I have seen it and it's so nice. You can see the latest post here. You can find some popular tags. I'm using the chips for it. Then we have ready for start writing. We are using the button components. Okay, let's take a look at the carousel, like if you guys have any doubt with the documentation. So here you can find a bunch of inputs and outputs here. Okay, this is how you import. And to build this carousel, what I did, just see the code. This is your selector, and this is your config, and you're done. And this carousel is ready in front of you. Okay, this is with autoplay, this is with no loop, like, then this is the minimal arrow, like there is no arrow at all, you just need to use this, or you need to basically grab and do the slide. Can you see the grab and you do the slide? Okay, then we have controlled index. For example, you need to go to page 4, you need to go to 2, you need to go 1. So this is also supported in this carousel. Then you have aspect ratio as well, like which aspect ratio you are looking for, like 4:3 or 1:1. So that is also you can control. Then you need to show some projected content, like for example you need to render some custom component. That also you can do it here, to be honest. Custom components can be added with, that's why I call it as a custom slide, which you can add. Then we have the keyboard navigation. So as I told you, this is web accessibility is there out of the box, so you can use the keyboard navigation as well to navigate between the slides. Then I have an example of card carousel, which is very important if you're building some e-commerce application. Okay, so this is one of the example what I have created. Then this is like disabled because you don't have any more, you just have 4 options. Then if you have many cards, then you can show it something like this. Okay, and here I have written the mobile touch scroll it's very nice. Like when you use this on your mobile devices, the experience is quite better, to be honest, right? So this is what we have completed till now. And yeah, I just wanted to show you the usage. So that's how I have built the carousel, and that's what you see here. You have this click events if you need to go to the page, that can be done from here. If you have view all, you saw the home, you saw the blog page, right? You saw the blog page. You also, let's see the about. Here about, I'm using the tab components, and this tab component is also very nice. Let me show you how you can use it. So if you go here in the tab, very easy to develop, very easy. Just add your array and you're done. And you need to make sure that you provide this role. This role attribute is important, that so that it gets connected, the HTML gets connected to that tab click. Okay, and even if you see the preview encode, I'm using my own created component, which is tab. And here you can find some disabled state as well, which you cannot click. Then you have this programmatic selection. For example, you can go to third, go to first, go to second. That also you can do, okay, by some programs, by adding this t.select and t.select, which tab you want to go to. Okay, and here you have the documentation, like what exactly it has. Okay, now let's see further things. So here you have the card component, which I'm using to display such kind of content. And then I have the accordion, the very famous one, like a lot of people use. We have accordion, which you can really see. And just in case guys, if you guys are interested to basically customize, so there could be a question that you might ask, hey Sky, what if I need to customize it? So that also can be done, and you can basically go here and you can say add the rate layer. What was that? Add the rate layer, base, not base, I need to say component. So here you can change the component what you need. So for example, in your case it is ng-oat accordion. Okay, so here you can change a lot of things from here, like hey, I need this to be changed, I need that size to be changed, I need the p tag to be changed, everything. Maybe you can handle it from here. You can give the own font size from here, I think by using where operator, like where function, ot text, something like this you can do. Okay, so that is also there. So it's not like you cannot customize them, you can still customize them without facing any problem. Okay, you can customize what is the border radius you need, what kind of padding you need. Again, to do those things you need to check the section called as theming and design tokens. So you can use design tokens to change them the way you want. For example, if you take a look here, right, if I want to change the spacing and radius, so here just take a look at this radius. Here I can increase this. Can you see the radius gets increased? So now all your components gets like this, a rounded shape. Same goes with the spacing. You can change the spacing like this. So if you need more spacing component, you can do that. Like you can change it across your component. You can get rid of, or you can add some based on how you need. Okay, so that's what the design token basically does. Okay, now let's go back and show you anything else we have. Yeah, so for example, you need to create a drop down, that also can be done. See, we have hide contact, so some toggle to show and hide your options. So that also you can do. You can use drop down, you can use toggle, you can use tooltip as well to create such thing. Okay, and yes, you can start us on GitHub once I make it open source by next or next to next week. So I will really appreciate if you give it a star to me there. And what else? I just don't want to miss anything, so let me again do the sign in. Yes, close. I think I should have made this as dismissible, because here now I need to wait for 3-4 seconds for it to get hidden, so maybe I can get rid of that. So but here you can see now the Z index is also like I would say we can fix it if you want. The Z index can also be fixed from here based on some design tokens. So that also you can find it here. Like you can change, like, hey, I need this toaster to be on the top, so you just need to say --oat Z index. Just change the value, like give it as 1000 or 2000, whatever you want. Okay, so this is my profile section. Yes, which I forgot, let me show you. Here also I'm using this tab component, and in the tab component I'm using this avatar. Then I have my post. You can create a new post. The button is there, small button. Here you can find the table. Here you can see the settings with some toggle option what you need. You can delete your account. So all those things has been, I'm using the separator as well, what you see here. And everything, as I told you, is done by using ng-oat. Okay, now let me show you if I need to write a post. So can you see now I have this nested breadcrumb where I have home, blog, and inside that this. So you can go to blog, you can go to home. Like if I click this, I go to home. If I again click on blogs, I go to blogs. So see, all the navigation supports by using the breadcrumb. And here you find, like, how did I do this, right? So if you are interested, yes, so do let me know if you need a complete video on this topic, like to create a blog website by using ng-oat. So do let me know, because I cannot do that in live stream. It's already more than 2 hours. What I can do in the recorded video, I can edit them well, and I can only give you the content which is required for you to create such application. So do let me know in the comments or in the chat if you guys are interested to create a blog application by using ng-oat. Okay, just do let me know, guys. And yeah, this is what I had today for you all to basically demonstrate about this ng-oat. Now it's time for questions, so I'll just wait for another 2-3 minutes. If you guys have any questions related to this topic, then do let me know. And in the meantime, what I'll do, I will commit this code, and I will also add the new extra code what you need, so that you can take a look. Again, the code you can find it here. I can get rid of this, and this is the block. So you can just go and clone this and start using the components whatever I have created. Okay, it's, again, as I told you, it is easy to use. If you find any difficulties or anything, you just need to ping me on LinkedIn. Just come here, this is my profile. Yeah, you can find me. You just need to connect with me and just DM me, and I will be there to answer your queries if you have any. Okay, and also if you need some my other social networks, you can go to shashikumar.dev, and here you can find a lot of info about me, like who am I, what I do, what is my experience, what kind of projects I have did, what kind of speaking I have did till now, about my blogs, what I write, and yes, the contact as well. And guys, this contact really works. This is not just a static UI. You can write your query, you can write your things, and you can send a message to me, and this will directly come to me in my email. Okay, so this thing really works. And yeah, so this is what I had today for you all. Just by any chance, if you have any question, then as I told, just DM me here, right? So I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you so much for joining in, guys. Bye bye, and take care and have a lovely day ahead.